Hello everyone and welcome to the end of chapter homework video for exercise 13.8. In this video we're going to write a simple method that converts a hexadecimal string into the decimal number equivalent. However, what if the string we're trying to convert isn't a hexadecimal number? We need to do some error handling here. And to handle any errors, we're going to write a custom exception class. And this exception is going to be thrown if the string is not a hexadecimal number. So with that, let's get started. Over in Eclipse, I've created a new project called exercise 13.8, and to this we're going to add a class called exercise 13_8. Just maximize this. To start with, we're going to completely ignore this class here and work on the custom exception class. So class, we'll call this HexFormatException. Now, when we're writing our custom exception classes, it's a good idea to extend from exception or runtime exception. Anything that belongs to the throwable class hierarchy. So, extends exception. That's what we're going to do today. Next up, we're going to have a default constructor. So, HexFormatException. And we're just simply going to call the superclasses constructor, so super, but we're going to put in a custom message, and that's going to be illegal hex character. And that's all we're going to have here. For the next thing, we're going to have a second constructor. So HexFormatException. This time we're going to take a message. And again, we're going to call the superclasses constructor, but this time passing in the message as the parameter. And that, my friends, is the entire HexFormatException class. Exception classes are really quite compact because they only have a simple task to perform, but they can be really useful when we're doing our error handling because it allows us to put in meaningful error messages into our programs. But we're not finished just yet. Let's write our pass hex method to actually do this conversion. So static int pass hex string hex string. Now, because we're going to do some error handling in this method, we know that if there's any sort of error that happens, we're going to throw a hex format exception. So what we should do after the parameter list is have an exception list that is possible that we might throw. So that's throws hex format exception. Okay, inside this method we are going to convert a hexadecimal digit to a binary digit. So int value equals convert hex to decimal hex string dot char at 0. So this convert hex to decimal we haven't actually written yet. Why don't we do that? Actually, why don't we do that first? Let's just leave this just for now and we'll work on this other one. So static int convert hex to decimal char ch. Again, this is going to throw a hex format exception. So this is going to return a number after converting a single hexadecimal digit. So remember, we have the letters A through to F in hexadecimal, which represent the numbers 10 through to 15 in decimal. What we're going to do is have a bunch of if statements, because we're going to do this in a simpler way possible. So if the character is equal to A, return 10, else if equals B, return 11. I'm going to copy and paste this code because I'm lazy. Actually, I'll put the semicolon there, then I'll copy and paste it. C, D, E, F. So F is 15. 14 is E. D is 13. C is 12. Okay, what if it's the number digits are 0 through to 9? Well, we can just treat them like normal, almost. So, else if ch is less than or equal to the character 9, remember that's very important. Because we're dealing with ASCII characters, we have to deal with ASCII 9, not the actual number. And ch is greater than or equal to the character 0. We're going to return the character minus the character 0, which will do the ASCII to int conversion for us. Now, if it's none of those, if it's not the letters A through to F or the digits 0 to 9, that means we have an illegal character here. So what we're going to do is throw a new hex format exception at this point. So if it's none of those, throw new hex format exception. And our message is going to be illegal hex character plus ch. But otherwise, that's it for this method. That converts a single character. What have I done here? Error. I've misspelt something. Hex format exception. Hex format exception. Are these spelt the same? Yes. What have... of course. It's Eclipse being funny about finishing off its parentheses for me, and I put the semicolon in the wrong spot. Not to worry. Now that we've done that, let's work on converting the whole string again. So this gave us the first character. So we have to do this for the rest of them. So let's have a for loop. Int I equals 1, because we've already dealt with the first character. I less than hex string dot length I plus plus. Now inside here, we're going to add the value, well, add the next digit on. However, because we're in hexadecimal, it's slightly more complicated. So value equals value multiplied by 16 plus hex string dot char at I minus the character 0. Sorry. Again, parentheses in the wrong spot. Why does that keep doing that? There. There we go. So then, outside of this loop, we're just going to return the value. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's work on a main method to do some testing. Public static void main string array args, and it's going to throw a hex format exception. So just some print lines in here to test this. System.out.println pass hex A5. Oh, come on, Eclipse. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. No, I'm not. Copy. Copy and paste. Copy, paste, copy, copy, paste. So A5, let's do FAA, which is also valid. Let's do T10, which is not valid at all. Let's do ABC, which is fine. And let's do 10A, which is also fine. So it's just this one we should have problems with. So let's save that and run it and see what happens. So run as Java application. Oh no, we got a hex format exception, illegal hex character T, and you can see this line of code is where the exception was thrown, but we can see the trace. Oops. We can see exactly where it happened. It happened in main on this line of code. So that's working pretty well. It realized that that was an illegal character, and we got a meaningful message here. because we used a custom exception class. So really, that's all there is to this video. So just to summarize now, in this video we wrote a custom exception class. Although it was the smallest portion of code that we wrote, it's very important because we used this class to throw when a number could not be converted from hexadecimal to decimal. And the important thing is it allows us to add a meaningful error message to our exceptions. But with that, that's it for this video. Thanks a lot.